Hello, my wise friends. Let me ask you something from the heart. If you looked back at everything you spent money on this past year, is there anything that makes you whisper, I wish I hadn't bought that? I'm not asking to judge. I'm asking because I've been there myself. And I know some purchases don't just thin out our wallets. They leave an emptiness inside. After a certain age, money isn't about showing off anymore. It's about freedom. The freedom to live simply, to live meaningfully, and to live peacefully. In today's video, we'll gently reflect on 9 spending habits that older adults should consider stopping. Not out of guilt, but because you truly deserve a lighter, freer life. If you're watching this right now, leave me a comment and let me know where you're watching from. I genuinely care. And if these thoughts resonate with you, please hit the subscribe button so we can keep learning life's lessons side by side. 1. A brand new car. Do you really need it? Do you remember the last time you stepped into a car dealership, smelled that fresh leather, sat in the driver's seat, and felt a little tempted? It's understandable. That moment, it's persuasive. But past 60, what we truly need isn't that new car smell. It's reliability, safety, and financial wisdom. A new car, even with a full warranty, starts losing value the moment it leaves the lot. Meanwhile, a carefully inspected used car can serve you for years without the added pressure of debt or monthly payments. Now, don't get me wrong. You deserve good things. I'm just asking, will this new car make your life more peaceful, or will it just lighten your wallet? Choose peace of mind over flashiness, because freedom doesn't come from a shiny new car. It comes from knowing you don't have to worry about one. 2. Shiny new gadgets. Do they truly improve life? Have you ever picked up a new phone, gazed into that glossy screen, and thought, maybe this will help me stay in touch with the grandkids better? We've all been there. But a few weeks later, it ends up in a drawer. Too complicated to use, or not that different from your old one after all. Past 60, technology should serve you, not make you feel left behind. Just because something is newer, faster, or more expensive doesn't mean it's better, especially if all you need is calling, texting, and the occasional relaxing video. Let me say this with love. Don't let ads convince you you're outdated if you don't buy the newest model. You don't need to keep up with anything anymore. Choose simplicity. Stick with what feels familiar. That's a smart way to keep life clear and peaceful, without tech overload. 3. Unused subscriptions and memberships. Quietly draining your wallet every month. Imagine sitting down to check your bank statement and realizing you've been paying for 3 or 4 services you rarely use. Maybe it's a music app, a streaming platform, a gym membership you meant to go to, but never really did. At this stage of life, time is precious, but so is money. These small auto charges, $5, $12 a month, might seem tiny, but over a year, they add up to hundreds of dollars spent on, well, nothing. Instead, keep only what you truly use and love. Canceling what no longer serves you isn't stingy. It's an act of self-respect. Wisdom isn't about how many memberships you have, it's about knowing what actually brings value to your life. 4. Fancy home decor or unnecessary renovations. Do they truly make you happier? Have you ever watched a home makeover show? Looked around your living room and thought, maybe I should replace that sofa. Or, my kitchen's starting to feel a little outdated. We live in a time when everything is constantly being upgraded. But sometimes those upgrades leave us tired and financially strained. After 60, your home doesn't need to look like a magazine cover. It needs to feel safe, comfortable, and truly yours. Maybe instead of tearing down walls and buying custom cabinets, all you need is a potted plant, a new curtain, or a little more sunlight. Let me say this with love. Don't let outside standards steal your inner peace. The most beautiful home isn't the most expensive one. It's the one where you feel free to be yourself. If you're still watching, thank you. That tells me you truly want to live a more intentional, peaceful life. Subscribe if you haven't, because each week I'll share one small but powerful lesson to make your golden years even more meaningful. 5. Expensive supplements. Can you really buy your health? A friend of mine, she's in her 50s, once told me she had started taking 7 different pills a day. Colorful capsules, fancy promises, boosting youth, bone strength, memory, glowing skin. But the strange thing? She still felt tired, still struggled with sleep, still woke up with no energy. Dear friend, no supplement can replace a good night's sleep, a nourishing meal, or a calm mind. Sometimes we want a shortcut, but health still requires love, patience, and simplicity. If you're taking something daily, pause and ask yourself, does my body truly need this? Or is my mind just responding to a clever ad? I say this not to judge, but to offer a gentle reminder. Sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't in a bottle. It's in the small, consistent habits you nurture every day. 6. Expensive fashion and trendy clothing. Does looking good have to be costly? Do you remember the last time you stood in front of your closet and sighed, I have nothing to wear? Even though the closet was packed with clothes, all colors, all styles, all the latest trends. I've been there too. I used to believe a new blouse would make me feel more confident. A designer shoe would make me feel more valuable. But the truth is, real confidence never comes with a price tag or a trend. A simple, well-fitting outfit, worn with a smile, will always look better than the most expensive item worn with doubt. Fashion should reflect who you truly are, not be a race to keep up with others. Wear what feels good, what feels like you, not what a magazine says you should wear. Because in the end, people don't remember what you wore. They remember how you made them feel. 7. Lending or gifting. Large amounts. The fastest way to lose both money and trust. Let me say this with deep compassion and respect. There's a quiet fear that lives in many seasoned hearts, the fear of being seen as stingy, cold, or unloving, especially when we say no to lending money to children, relatives, or old friends. So instead of refusing, we silently agree. And what follows? Silent burdens, overdue bills, drained bank accounts, or worse, awkward relationships when the money never comes back. My wise friends, giving is beautiful, but giving that leaves you anxious and insecure, that's not love, that's a transaction with a hidden cost. If someone truly cares for you, they will understand a kind refusal, especially when it comes from a place of protecting your own financial peace. So before you open your wallet, ask yourself honestly, am I giving out of generosity or out of guilt and pressure? 8. Lavish gifts for others. When kindness becomes a weight. Here's something I've noticed about those of us who've lived a long life. We always want to give the best to others. But sometimes, that beautiful instinct leads us to buy gifts that far exceed what's reasonable for us. A luxury watch for a graduating grandchild, an expensive piece of jewelry for an old friend's birthday, a designer handbag for your daughter just to cheer her up. But let me ask you this, from one soul to another. Does love really need to come with a price tag? I used to believe big gifts made a big impact. But over time, I learned something wiser. The people who cherish me most, they kept my handwritten notes, my small homemade cookies, the phone calls just to ask how they were doing, not the receipts from high-end stores, a heartfelt blessing, a warm meal you cook with love, a framed photo full of memories. These touch the heart more deeply than any luxury box. I say this with love. Real affection doesn't need fancy wrapping, just honest presence. 9. Dining out too often. When convenience comes at a hidden price. I understand this one very well. On those tired days, when cooking feels like a chore, we tell ourselves, just eat out tonight, it's easier. But once becomes twice, then 3 times, and soon it's no longer a treat, it's a habit. And here's the catch, eating out doesn't just cost money, it quietly chips away at our health too. You don't control the salt, sugar, oil in every dish. You lose the rhythm and peace of a home-cooked meal. And more importantly, you lose something sacred, the joy of preparing food with care in your own kitchen. I once asked a friend, 75 years old, "What's your happiest moment each week?" He smiled and said, "When I cook dinner with my own hands, for myself or for someone I love." Now, I'm not saying give up restaurants entirely, but what if we turned eating out into a celebration, not an escape? Because sometimes the most nourishing moments aren't on the menu. They're in your quiet kitchen, where you slow down and truly care for yourself. Dear friend, if you're still here, still listening, still open, I want to thank you. Not because you agreed with every word, but because you're still willing to consider, to pause, to live with more intention. I don't expect you to change everything overnight, but if even one idea today made you stop and think, then that's where you start. Maybe you cancel a subscription you never use. Maybe you cook one meal at home this week instead of dining out. Maybe you take an afternoon to go through your wardrobe and keep only what makes you feel truly good. Just one small decision, made with clarity. That's all it takes to begin a lighter, wiser chapter of your life. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these 9 things touched your heart the most? And if you found something valuable today, feel free to like, subscribe, or simply leave a quiet message. I'm still here, and I'm listening. Because remember this, wisdom isn't just about living long, it's about choosing to live wisely every single day.